Have you ever been near a river late at night and heard a sound that chilled you to the bone? A sound that wasn't just the wind, but a mournful, human cry. If you ever find yourself in Latin America, especially Mexico, and you hear a woman weeping by the water, the locals will tell you to run. Don't look back, just run. Because you might have just had a brush with La Llorona, the weeping woman. The legend of La Llorona is one of the most famous and terrifying ghost stories in the world. It's a tale that has been passed down through generations, a cautionary story whispered to children to keep them from wandering off after dark. But where did this story come from, and what makes it so enduringly frightening? Let's travel back in time to colonial-era Mexico. The most common version of the story tells of a woman of breathtaking beauty named Maria. Maria was born into a humble peasant family, but her beauty was so extraordinary that it captivated everyone who saw her. She dreamed of a life beyond her simple village, a life of luxury and status. And one day, it seemed her dreams were about to come true. A wealthy and handsome nobleman, a dashing aristocrat, rode into her village. He was immediately enchanted by Maria's beauty. He showered her with gifts and attention, and despite the vast difference in their social standing, he fell deeply in love with her. He defied his family's wishes and married Maria, setting her up in a beautiful house and giving her 2 sons. For a time, Maria was blissfully happy. She had the husband she'd always dreamed of, and she adored her children. However, the nobleman's life was one of constant travel and socializing with the elite. Over time, he began to spend more and more time away from home, leaving Maria alone with the children. When he was in the village, he was often seen in the company of other high society women, and he started to neglect Maria, treating her more like a servant than a wife. He would praise their children but would openly show his disdain for her humble origins. Maria's heart filled with a toxic mix of resentment, jealousy, and despair. Her love for the nobleman curdled into a bitter obsession. One fateful evening, as she was walking with her 2 sons by the river, she saw her husband's carriage pass by. He wasn't alone. Beside him sat a beautiful, elegant lady, and he didn't even glance Maria's way. In that moment, something inside Maria snapped. Overwhelmed by a tidal wave of rage and heartbreak, she turned her fury on the only thing she felt he truly cared about, their children. In a fit of madness, she grabbed her 2 young sons and, dragging them into the river, she drowned them. As the currents carried their small bodies away, the reality of her horrific act crashed down on her. The rage vanished, replaced by an unbearable, soul-crushing guilt. She ran along the riverbank, screaming their names, her cries echoing in the night. "Ay, mis hijos! Ay, mis hijos! My children! Oh, my children!" But they were gone. The next morning, villagers found her lifeless body by the river, having drowned herself in the very same water. But her story doesn't end there. In fact, that's where the horror truly begins. Because of her terrible sin, Maria was denied entry into the afterlife. Her spirit was condemned to wander the earth, trapped between the world of the living and the dead. She is forever searching for the children she murdered. And so, she became La Llorona, a ghostly figure, often described as being dressed in a flowing white gown, her face obscured by shadows or a veil. She roams the riverbanks, the lake shores, and the dark, lonely roads at night. And she is always weeping. That chilling, mournful cry is her eternal curse. They say if you hear her cries, you must determine if they sound near or far. If they sound far away, she is actually very close, and you are in immediate danger. If they sound close, she is far away, giving you a chance to escape. It's a terrifying paradox. Her wail is an omen of doom, often said to foretell a death in the family or a personal tragedy. Children are especially warned about La Llorona. Parents tell their kids that if they misbehave or stay out after dark, La Llorona will get them. She might mistake them for her own lost children and, in her grief-stricken madness, drag them away to a watery grave, hoping to replace the sons she lost. This part of the legend serves a practical purpose. It keeps children safe and close to home. But La Llorona isn't just a simple boogeyman. The story has deep cultural roots and has evolved over centuries. Some historians trace the origins of the legend back even further, to pre-Hispanic Aztec mythology. They point to the goddess Cihuateteo, divine spirits of women who died in childbirth. These spirits were said to haunt crossroads at night, stealing children. There's also the Aztec goddess Cotlicu, sometimes depicted as a weeping figure who prophesied the fall of the Aztec Empire. When the Spanish conquistadors arrived, they reported hearing a woman wailing in the night, crying, "My children, we must flee." These ancient myths may have blended with post-colonial anxieties and Catholic concepts of sin and damnation to create the La Llorona we know today. The story is a powerful exploration of complex themes: betrayal, motherhood, social class, and gender roles. Maria is a tragic figure, not just a monster. She is a victim of a patriarchal society that values her only for her beauty, a woman scorned and abandoned. Her horrifying act is born from desperation and a complete mental breakdown. This complexity is what makes her so compelling and terrifying. She isn't a mindless ghoul. She is a ghost with a backstory, driven by emotions we can all understand, even if her actions are monstrous. Over the years, the legend has spread far beyond Mexico, becoming a staple of folklore throughout Central and South America and the southwestern United States. Every region has its own local variations. In some versions, she is a vengeful spirit who attacks unfaithful men. In others, she's a more sorrowful figure, whose cries are simply a lament of her eternal pain. The image of the weeping woman by the water is a powerful, archetypal one. It taps into our primal fears, the fear of the dark, the fear of drowning, and perhaps the most profound fear of all, the loss of a child, or the idea of a mother turning against her own. Countless people claim to have had personal encounters with La Llorona. They report seeing a ghostly white figure gliding over the water, or hearing that unmistakable blood-curdling cry that seems to come from everywhere at once. Is it just the wind, the call of an animal, or an overactive imagination fueled by campfire stories? Or is it something more? For many, La Llorona is very real. She's not just a story. She's a presence, a warning, a part of the cultural fabric. The legend continues to be told in movies, books, songs, and art, constantly being reinterpreted for new generations. She has become an icon of horror, a symbol of tragic motherhood and eternal remorse. So, what should you do if you find yourself near a dark, quiet body of water at night? Listen closely, and if you hear a woman weeping, a sound filled with centuries of pain and regret, don't try to be a hero. Don't go looking for the source. Remember the stories, respect the legend, and get yourself to safety. Because you never know if La Llorona has mistaken you for one of her own. The legend of the weeping woman is a chilling reminder that some stories are more than just words, and that some sins can never be washed away, not even by the river. Thanks for joining me on this dive into one of history's most haunting legends. What do you think? Have you ever heard a story about La Llorona in your town? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more tales from the dark side of folklore. Stay safe and don't wander off after dark.